that would be on you. Not doing it right. Oh, look, somebody press record.
Well, that's just on this, just in case we hit gold.
Okay, so you gonna make sure you share the Facebook too?
Yeah, that's the next task. I gotta go to FB's.
You know, I'm just trying to make sure you got that thing down. So.
Yes, Mom. Thanks, Mom.
Ain't nobody, Mama. I just said, you know, make sure you got all your P's and Q's and everything ducks in a row. What these glasses? Yeah, but you good, V?
Yeah, I'll explain everything when we start. So.
I'll explain it all. Explain it all.
Mm-hmm. So if the host wants to segue that when we get started, then that's how I figured I could tell a story.
Yeah, I think
it just depends on what the host does. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that.
I just say it's LV's house party. Y'all just take it from me, so it doesn't even matter.
Take it from you. You need to be in control.
See, why you acting like that? But why? When you say we recording anyway, I'm
just telling you, you know.
Got you.
If you try it that way, let's see how the show go.
Try what way?
No, but you be the hostess.
Face, your hair looks very pretty.
Thank you.
Didn't I say something about? Oh, you didn't hear me on your.
Oh, he getting offended.
Thank you.
I am. I said it first.
Sorry. Thanks.
Wow. Didn't know it was competition.
Yeah.
It is.
Clearly. So it's just us four tonight.
I think Ben said he's coming, but and whatchamacallit is at work, so. Shabazz.
Brother Shabazz.
Brother Shabazz. Well, what is the title gonna be?
COVID recovery.
I like that. I like it. I like it. I like it.
I watched y'all last week. It was good.
It was?
Yes. Just was still a little down.
Let's see. It should be good then. Are we live?
We not on Facebook. Oh,
we are now.
Now it is.
Okay.
Look who learned how to press the button.
See? There you go again. There you.
I'm just, give me your. You gotta turn your volume down on your phone.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thought I was sure.
Let me see if. Oh, okay. Just making sure. All right, here we go.
Because we're live.
And Humvee, and this is Humvee's house
party.
You really look like you was like roaming through the streets.
No, so I'm not moving I'm not going like this no more.
What are you doing? The whole thing?
I'm grabbing it and.
Oh, you're moving the entire computer now.
Yeah.
Oh, so now it's really going great.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, bet. Okay.
All right.
So go. Let's go. We're live. Let's keep them entertained. Let's keep them entertained. Try not to take over your show here.
Yeah, we try not to. But
every week, it's all good. We are here in the house. We got whoever.
Stay
so
sorry.
We're gonna start doing that before.
I'm in a bit. I'm here. Stay sorry.
Nice. In the house we got.
It's your girl Victoria. Goddamn, I got my government.
Oh damn! Oh God!
Yeah.
But y'all be getting on me. And in the house we got
Oh, it's your girl Lala. Y'all dang it. I mean, this is probably why I don't have my government name on Facebook. No way.
And you know what we do here. Every week we come every Monday around 7:30ish. We're getting better with the time. And
hello, today was sharp, honey.
it was sharp.
Did y'all see that little shade I threw in there on a text message?
You sure did.
See, was that shade? I didn't, because I know
it was.
It was.
I was about to respond, and then you
started calling,
and then he hit you with the call like, oh shit!
Wait a minute. Oh,
hey,
he learned. He learned his lesson.
Each and every week we give you guys something funny, entertainment, and we tell you the backstory of what's happened in the group chat. As you can see, it's pretty much 3 against 1.
No,
they get on me
every
time I post something. It's like thumbs down. I don't have an iPhone.
We didn't do that this week.
I know we was quiet.
It was very quiet this week.
You bring it up. We just going. You just open a can of worms.
No, I sent something and then I got a thumbs up. I sent something else. I got a thumbs up. So I think I did good this week. Other than that.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
So V, you are back in the building.
Yes, welcome back.
I'm back from I don't want to say back from the dead because I don't be wanting to put that on my life. But yes, unfortunately, I gotten sick on Tuesday. I honestly think it started Sunday.
Wow.
So just to make a long story short, I got a headache on Sunday. Well, let's rewind. So I was hanging out with this guy, basically. I'm just going to be honest. And it really didn't dawn on me the way that he was moving. Like, I know that he was acting like Humvee. He was just in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he belonged to the streets.
He belonged to the streets.
Okay.
And so my daughter had went out of town for a whole week. So I was just going to work, coming home, like my normal thing. I started back going to work June the 1st. And that's all I was doing still. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't going anywhere. And so my daughter went out of town and I was just like, okay, well, I guess we can kind of just, I have free time to hang out, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't really do shit if my child is at home and stuff like that or whatever. Yeah. Still, I didn't go anywhere with him. I was just at his house. We was hanging out or he was over here sometimes hanging out. And, but he's the one just moving. Like if I'm at work, he's out. You know what I'm saying? Just this motherfucker is, collecting busy unemployment right now, just like a lot of people collecting unemployment. So he ain't having to work. He just in the streets, flipping through the hood, trying to see the flavors good. So Friday, I do decide to be like, okay, let's go to the pool hall. Now, remind you, because I originally thought I did get this from the pool hall until I thought about how this nigga was moving the whole week. But there was nobody at the pool hall. And I mean, sure, the sticks and things like that and the table, that's all fine and dandy. That could have very well been the case. Right. But I just don't think that it was just the pool hall. It wasn't really nobody there. The tables are already kind of social distance anyways, you know what I'm saying? And we weren't at a shack. We was at Slick Willie's, like a known, brand name. So right. I'm assuming that they're wiping things down also or whatever. So I don't think that it was pool hall. So Sunday I did have a headache. By then my daughter's coming back home Monday. So, anything we was kicking it or whatever, that's dead it now. So Sunday was the last time I seen him. And then I get up Monday morning like nothing's wrong. I go work out like my normal thing, go to work. I go pick up my daughter after work. I stop at my sister's for a brief second to pick something up. Thank God I was not at my sister's house long at all. I'm talking about like 5 minutes I was in there and I was gone. Because by then the shit was probably already in me. Tuesday, I get up, I go work out like normal. I come home Tuesday at 7 in the morning. And then all of a sudden, literally as soon as I walk in the door, it was just like a ton of bricks. I text my boss and I was just like, hey, something's up. I go lay down in my bed. I had to put a note on my door because, my daughter's home now. So I put a note on the door. I was like, don't come in here. I don't know what's wrong, blah, blah, blah.
Right, right.
Okay, so Thursday I get up. So by now, Tuesday and Wednesday are just like horrible, horrible days. Thursday I get up to go get a test or whatever because I can finally get up. But by then, when I come home, I see that my daughter is looking crazy in the face. So I'm like, what's wrong with you? She's like, I got symptoms. And then I'm like, oh God. So I just like lose it, you know, because now it's just her. I just kind of just freak out or whatever.
Jeez.
But something in me is able to like not snap out of it, but I have to now go into mommy mode and take care of her and make sure, you know, keep her fever down, you know, just keep everything at, you know, I'm just lost it basically, but was still able to keep it together.
Yes.
So it was a rough week. It was very, very rough. I had all the symptoms. I just got my smell and taste back maybe like 3 days ago. I don't have any more headaches. I mean, it was all the symptoms that you can think of. It was headaches, it was body aches, it was fever, chest pains. The headaches were just unreal.
Wow.
The body pains was just unreal. It was rough. That's all I can say. It was very, very rough.
So have you had the flu before?
Yes, I've had the flu.
Is it worse? Was it worse?
Yes, because this wasn't really like the flu. It wasn't, it's really, don't get me wrong, there's similar symptoms, of course, with the chills. And I mean, it's like your skin is just so sensitive. You know what I'm saying? It was like everything that touched your skin was just horrible. But it was more so of like just these abdominal pains. And then these just little pings and tings on your body that you just chilling and it's just like, bam, it just hit you. Or it's just like you get up to go do anything and then you lay down and you're asleep for 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just exhausted for no fucking reason. Like sleeping was that's it. That's all you can do is just sleep.
Have you ever had an upper respiratory infection?
No. Mm-mm. I've never had anything of that. Yes, I've been sick before. You know, luckily, I'm grateful that, you know, my daughter has like the best immune system. She's not a sickly kid. She ain't never been sick. And then, you know, I work out every single day and do what I'm doing. So, I mean, for her, she only had symptoms for 2 days. And then she did lose her taste and smell, but that was it for her. Now what it will do is you'll wake up and you like, oh my gosh, I feel great. Like I'm starting to feel back myself. And then an hour later, and then it's just back to nausea, back to headache. Or, I mean, it just comes right back. It's like, so it wasn't until, so today I'm on day 13. So I'm going to we'll both take a test because I never got her tested, but we'll both take another test this Thursday so we can be negative, hopefully, is what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Did you call Mr. Man and ask him if he got tested?
Well, baby, he's blocked. Let's be clear.
Whoa.
Oh yeah,
he's very much.
Don't talk about whoa.
He's very much blocked. Just because he's blocked for other reasons, also. Oh. But that just was like the icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that gave you the Rona.
So we have a question. Someone said, having had it, do you think we are overreacting or underreacting?
Oh, no, honey. No. I'm someone who, first of all, I'm trying not to take this on an attack of my life personally because, you know, I'm always somebody who's having to go through adversity and shit in life. So it's like, of course, this would happen to me, but I'm trying not to be, you know, negative thinking like that. But this entire time, I have been taking precautions of not being out and stuff like that. I wasn't somebody that was just out and, I mean, you can even ask my best friend, I wouldn't let her, she tried to come over here and drop something off and I sprayed this bitch. As I was literally spraying her as she's trying to walk through my house. She trying to share a blunt with me. I was like, oh, hell no, bitch. You was driving around and you was in them streets. No, you cannot. It just really didn't. I think we did get a little comfortable. Maybe that's what it was. And that's why his behavior wasn't a red flag to me. Because I was just like, oh, he just, like, after thinking about how this nigga was moving the entire week, and just even prior to that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He ain't been working since, you know, he been getting unemployment since March. So, you know, shit.
So we're not
overreacting. Been in the streets.
The only thing
not overreacting at all. Hell
The only thing that changed with your routine was
Stevie.
Slick Willy's.
Yes,
that was it.
She is
and
a
then,
COVID warrior.
And hanging out with him because we were only talking on the phone this entire time. I was only talking to this person on the phone. I was not interacting with them at all. And it was
did he have it? Did he have it?
Baby.
That's why I'm asking. Like, did you?
This is another reason why this baby got blocked. Oh Lord, y'all coming with the questions because this is another reason why this baby got blocked. Because I felt like he was someone who was running around here just spreading it to people. When I tell you this nigga got sick for real, like I could hear it in his voice being sick, and you're still out, still making moves. He even he did smarten up and stop going over his mama's house, but I mean, he was like still going to his mom's and shit, just doing real ignorant, dumbass shit. And it's just like, bruh, I ain't got time.
Right.
I ain't got time.
So he never got tested. You just know
never got tested. Yes, he was at one point. There was one night where I was on the phone with him briefly, and then I was just like, bro, you sound fucking disgusting. Like really just going in about the cough and the congestion that was happening, and I mean basically this is how the young people are getting sick, because you have to mask these symptoms so you don't get a pneumonia. That's what you're trying to stop. You're trying to stop from this respiratory virus from attacking your fucking lungs.
Wow.
And at one point, I mean, he sounded extremely bad. I found myself being a little worried, but then also kind of be like, nah, bro, you's a whole grown ass person. So that is, like I said, just for other reasons also, and then that just kind of being like solidifying the shit.
Right.
Like,
is this man's name Davian Johnson?
Shout out to DJ the DJ.
He said,
no.
He said, I had it. I think we're overreacting. And the point of it, right, is that it affects everybody differently.
Exactly. So kudos to you, Damien. Glad your fucking COVID experience was great. But for me and mine, it wasn't. Okay, don't try to tell me shit about.
So I got a question. Is it like I know somebody who had it, and they told me like, I'm good. I was like, no, man, you had the Rona. I ain't even gonna play them games. But he said that his doctor told him he can't get it again.
Well, I don't know about that.
I don't know about
because
that.
They're saying that you can't.
So that's what I'm gonna ask. Like, you said you didn't get your daughter tested. So now, like, what if it's still in her, but it's just a different strain?
Well, that's why we are gonna get the negative. I did hear you have to have 2 negative tests for it to be completely whatever, and then you also need to take this antibody test also. And then let me please rewind, because remember I told y'all that this happened to me in November, and then my boss can attest to me going home again in January, and I felt like this briefly kind of happened to me, but it lasted for 1 day. I went home because I was having the chills and I was having like some back shit going on, and so I went home, took some medicine, rested, sweated it out, and the next day I was fine. I was cool. And then now here I am the 3rd time this has now happened.
So you can't get it again. That's all I needed. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what those other 2 times were. I know what this 3rd one was.
Are you a very sickly person?
No, that's it. I am not. The last time that I got sick before November was like at least maybe over 5 years ago.
Okay. So I'm starting to think that it has to be like it's got to be different strands. And like your body has to learn to fight it off. Because I mean, the thing about it with the flu shot gives you the flu, and some people react differently on the shot. Yeah, like so it felt, maybe I don't know. There was probably like a mild, little low case at the beginning, and now it's like extreme.
I mean, when I was seeing all these people's Instagrams and things like that, and they're in these crowded situations, and they're in the clubs and all this other stuff, like there has not been one single fucking time that I was in any situation like that since this shit has started. not one time. I know I went to the address, but we went for brunch, and we're leaving as people are coming in, and that was the weekend of June the 4th, because that was my best friend's birthday. Her birthday was on June the 4th, and I think that was a Thursday. So whatever that Sunday was, we did that, and then this didn't happen until June 23rd is when this happened.
June 23rd. That's about two weeks.
Well, I'm glad that you're back, V. I'm glad you're back. Recovery mode. Everything.
And your daughter's fine.
Your daughter?
Girl, yeah. But listen, when I get my negative paperwork, I'm not fucking with you if you ain't got. This is like AIDS paperwork. You hear me?
It is.
I need to see your motherfucking paperwork, nigga. I'm sorry. I cannot interact with you. Go get your COVID test and come and talk.
I like that. I like that. So everybody needs to get tested. That's a good PSA for people out there that's watching the show right now. Make sure you get your COVID tested. And it's not going to say negative. It's going to say not detected. So like Lala was asking, I believe you can get it again. Since they say it's not detected, I believe you can get it again.
Not detected. Right. Yeah. So meaning as of right now, we don't see this.
Right.
So that's why that double negative test, like getting it done the 2 times, is where you have to do it. And then I don't know what the time period of that is. Like, so you get tested, do you wait another 14 days and then you get tested again?
Because they say you can get tested, and if you test too soon, it'll have a different result.
Right.
If you didn't give it enough time.
Yeah.
Basically, give your body enough time to feel like you're dying, I guess. I don't know.
Exactly.
But I don't mean to be like mean about it, but I mean that's what it is.
Yeah, but make sure every time you go out, make sure you put a mask on. I mean, why not? Just put a mask on.
And wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Yes, please.
I would just say as of right now,
with soap and water.
Yeah.
Not just with water, but with soap and water.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta tell people. Some people don't know.
Hey, for real, I get it.
Then dry your hands. Okay.
Hey, we are in the house. Hey, Ben.
On my damn ear.
Welcome,
Ben. What up, man?
What's up, Ben?
What's up?
How you been feeling?
This is Black Nasty Jackson.
Yes. Now he Black Nasty Jackson. Okay, I feel you.
Very Negro spiritual-esque.
Okay, all right.
How was your weekend? So you
good.
What did they call it? They called it the Juneteenth Part 2 for this weekend.
Oh Lord, please.
Do what?
That's what it was.
Juneteenth Part 2.
I didn't get invited to that.
Nah, it was just a day. It was just a day.
It was just a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I ain't getting invited to Juneteenth 2.
No, I didn't get no Juneteenth 2.
I heard it's like what they was calling it. Okay, so if how many days after, it was like 2 weeks after Juneteenth or some shit. That's what I was seeing. Like I'm celebrating 2 weeks after Juneteenth.
15 days later.
Yeah, 15 days later.
What's been going down,
I got
Black
out
Nasty?
here in barbecue.
Oh man, go ahead.
No, I was just saying Saturday, because I had Saturday was like a really good meal me and Riley had, because my appetite was gone too. I lost 10 pounds.
Damn, like that?
Real frail and crazy. Yes.
Shit, maybe I need to go get the COVID just so I can
Baby,
down.
I started when I started on COVID. I was 157.
I got some for sale.
Shut up. No, I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm good.
I was 157. And
I mean, don't get scared of it when it come in your face.
Yeah, I'm terrified. I'm gonna run. I might be able to run a little bit faster.
Exactly.
No, because you losing nothing but muscle. Trust me. You gonna be drawed up, frail looking. Like I was looking.
I can take to lose a little muscle, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Not a
but
lot.
no, so I made I barbecued some wings. I just got like a little baby pit out here.
Okay, you got a little smoky?
Yeah, just a little smoky. I put out here in the garage. So I made me and Riley some wings. I put the asparagus on there. We had baked potato and macaroni and cheese. That shit was good. So
like that, huh?
I thought it was on par.
Dang.
She gonna throw the asparagus on there to try to make it not July 4th or whatever. Cause don't nobody throw asparagus on there. She was like, "Yeah, we threw some wings on the pit." I was like, "That sound kind of independent."
Independency.
I'm just saying. And then he was like, "Yeah, then we threw some asparagus." I was like, "Okay."
So did you have baked potato salad?
No, just a baked potato. So
Okay.
just put the baked potato in there, like a regular, cheese,
I
butter,
didn't
sour cream.
I didn't get any potato salad this weekend. But if anybody has, never mind. COVID's going on. Never mind. I don't want nobody making no bacon.
Yeah, don't get nobody potato salad. Don't get nothing from
No,
nobody.
never mind.
Go get
I'll
something.
just make it myself. No.
Make your own, girl.
I'm just making myself. I got it.
Oh, then let me tell y'all, HEB did a so my sisters, of course, rallied together, and they, was able to have me groceries when I needed. B was like such a gentleman, and he put flowers outside of my garage door one day.
I did.
They were just so nice. And then once I started feeling a little bit better, because I didn't want my sisters to have to keep paying for me groceries, but I found out that HEB let you do your food stamps with the curbside. So I ordered me some groceries, rolled up on that curbside. All you do is open your trunk, because you already paid for it or whatever. Put the groceries in there.
That's the only way I get groceries. That's the only way.
So you put so you type the food stamp information in on the computer?
No, now with the food stamp, I did have to insert my own card.
I'm about to say they cutting up now. Okay.
Hey, hold on. But on Amazon, wait. On Amazon, and this is because there's different ways to order food on Amazon. You can do Whole Foods ordering, or you can do Amazon Fresh. Amazon Fresh allows you to put that food stamp card in there, baby, and it's like approved. And they just gonna send it right on out to you.
I need to find somebody with some food stamps.
Amazon Fresh.
Amazon Fresh. Now you can't do it with Whole Foods. You can't do it with Whole Foods.
No, because Whole Foods is high as hell.
Yeah, well, no, you can go to Whole Foods and use. Yeah, you can go to Whole Foods.
But I mean, that shit is high. God damn it, like that shit is high.
It's all right. I mean, I'm somebody who has food stamps, and my food stamp basket does not consist of ramen noodles and bullshit. So
well, no, I'm not saying
all the meats. I'm
not saying
all the
meats, like
all the crab.
Yeah, but I'm saying like Whole Foods, you can't go in there and just go buy some Lay's chips.
No, you can't. But let me tell you what I do for that Whole Foods on that food stamp. I can give me a 3-day cleanse with no problem. So I go in there and stock up on my juices. I can get my 3-day cleanse at that Whole Foods on my food stamp card. Done. You know what I'm saying? $30.
Eat dinner with Whole Foods.
Give me 3 days of juices. So that's how I fucks with the Whole Foods. Food stamp.
How do we get food stamps?
What's the first
man, I used to have a little food stamp connect, but those the days, boy. Those the days. Ooh, and I ain't had
what
to pay
you about to say, Stace?
What's my first topic?
Y'all want to get into the shits?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I have two. Or y'all can start it out. I got 2 things I wanted to bring up.
Y'all want to get into the shits, or we want to save it? Let's do something light. Let's start off light with Kanye going, put yourself in the bath. That's light. That's light.
That's light. No, that's not light.
The reason it's light is because I'm voting for him, and that's the end of it.
Oh my God. Okay, so we need to rename the show to DNS, dumb nigga shit.
Yep.
Rename it right now.
DNS.
Do not listen. If you listen to
not an album release, okay? This is are you kidding me?
This is important, and I feel like Kanye thinks this is a fucking joke.
No, it's not a joke.
Yes, it is. This is buffoonery.
He was run for president in 2020.
There's not enough time. There's not enough time. There's certain protocols and things that go into play for you to get on this ballot by November. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Texas is already as early voting. Shit. Like, there's a whole bunch of states early voting.
No, he hasn't said anything to even prove that he's deserving of being a president.
All right, okay.
He hasn't said one thing. Tell me one thing Kanye done said that's like, oh, he needs my vote. Please tell me. Please.
He hasn't said anything.
Right. I am a Kardashian fan. There's nothing that any Kardashian can do wrong in my eyes. And yes, I said it, I don't give a damn. So I'm not tripping about Kim. Yes, I love the Kardashians, all of them, and the Jenners, every last one of them.
The Jenners too?
Yes, I love them. Well, I'm just talking about Kylie and Kendall. I'm just talking about Kylie and Kim. Okay, my point is that I do feel like them trying to make a power move because the Kardashians remind me of the Kennedys as far as how many generations this name and the people involved will then carry on. So I'm not saying that them trying to get into the White House is not the ultimate power move. And it's always, remember, Kanye and Kim, they have to beat out Jay-Z and Beyonce in some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Because
so it's a competition.
Of course, that is the only family, so to speak, that will be, above them for whatever reason. So they got to be able to beat them out. So I'm not saying that this is not a possibility, but the thing is that has Kanye done? It's not enough time. That's why it's buffoonery. Because it's like, were you going to take it seriously and actually get on the ballot? Then I would be like, okay, it's power moves being made. Right.
Okay.
But it's not enough time. It's not enough time.
So this is my thing when it comes to Kanye. First off, I'm not gonna vote for him.
I am.
Oh Lord.
Because he's probably gonna be a write-in. Like,
go ahead, go.
Let me get closer because I don't think y'all can hear me. And that's why you belong to the street.
If he ran, if Kanye actually legitimately won, I would vote for him also.
Why not?
Shit.
This the thing. Like how to piggyback off of what she said. This the thing. When you say Kanye, I have to see his party. I know he's gonna be dealing with the, with the House or whatever, because he's the president. But I need to know, like, your whole little cabinet that you got coming in first. But when you really think about it, you ain't fucking with Trump. And a lot of y'all was on the fence with. When I say y'all, I mean generally speaking, a lot of people was on the fence when it came to Biden. Anyways, they was voting for Biden just because they had to. And I don't know if people noticing. But once the COVID started, I don't know if I said last time, but once the COVID stuff jumped off, it was still Bernie, and it was still a few people in the race. Yeah. We didn't get a chance to pick. They just pretty much said, y'all can't go nowhere.
Well, no, you do get a chance to pick. No, don't say that because I voted. So
no, I'm talking about this year. This year, it was a whole lot of stuff going on to where a bunch of guys just started. You remember they wasn't able to do like the debates like they were supposed to because they wasn't doing the virtual things like that. So a bunch of guys started conceding, and that's politics. Like, hey man, look.
Well, for one, Bernie probably needed to go in the house quickly before his old ass got the COVID. So a lot of these niggas.
But you do really. But okay, I just want to point out something. Everybody always gets on about age. They're all the same age.
They're all old.
Yeah, they're old.
They all are in the same age group. So if you talking about one guy going to the house, all of them need to go in the house. You can find somebody younger.
Like one look dog white old, and then another one look dog white old, and then another one look goddamn white old. But they all same age.
Right. Biden has dementia.
Okay. So I still don't feel like I got like a solid reason as to why anybody.
Oh wait a minute, because I got.
Listen, I'm gonna rock this situation.
You didn't get no solid reason.
Listen, I'm gonna rock this situation. He's black. I don't give a fuck.
Hell no.
I'm not rolling with that.
Like I said, I'm not voting for him. Okay. But if you
what's up?
Hey, that's real though. Like, to be honest,
stay. Kanye. We're not.
Go look at some old Kanye interviews from one day. I accidentally got, you be watching YouTube and some shit just start looping and you keep going.
The wormhole.
Yeah, the wormhole.
Okay.
Right. So I'm watching and I got caught on to the little interviews, and then I'm watching Kanye interviews with the Breakfast Club, but I'm watching them in order. It's different from when you watching them in 2013 and then the years go by. When you get to look back and kind of look at it like the overview, now you can say he's inside and may got some info or whatever, But if you look at the interview that he had in like 2013 and what he was talking about and how things started to turn, and it was just, and then people always say, well, damn, Kanye critic. And I ain't saying he's a genius or like that or whatever. Right. But you look at what he's actually talking about when he's opening his mouth and you get a chance to speak. A lot of these politicians say things that they shouldn't say. A lot of people say things they shouldn't say. So people holding that stuff over here. Oh, Kanye said this about the slavery was a choice. Biden said if you wasn't black, you ain't voting for him, and your black ass gonna vote for him.
I'm not. Just saying.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, you can't hold stuff against a person. You gotta look at, now he don't have the best actions with the Trump stuff or whatever, but there was another interview that he did 2 years after that when he was talking about how with Obama, it was a great thing that Obama got in office. You know, for blacks, it was inspiring and everything like that. I remember being at Lamar, we was outside for hours, crying, turned up. Everybody, I mean, they probably had some drinks and stuff going on, but that wasn't even the thing. He was just live off the emotion. You know what I'm saying? And then he said, but once it all said and done or whatever, yeah, it inspired some people. But if you really look at, like you said earlier about the names, Obama is a first generation when you look at it. So you got to look at what they going to set up. So the Bush is going to always be in power. Somewhere in the mix, even when they ain't in there because they got a name, they've been around. It is about creating generational wealth and getting inside that power that to make moves and stuff like that. We don't have enough black people at the table. Now you can say, oh, I don't want Kanye to be the black person at the table. He was fucking with him at a time. And ain't everything he say horrible. I mean, you're not gonna agree with any and everything that anybody say.
Okay, but if you're speaking a lot about like the old Kanye and if the old Kanye were to say something like he wanted to be the president, then it'll be like, let's listen. But when you got current Kanye right now, especially within these past 2 to 3 years, he's been on some fuck shit. He really has.
I'm gonna say this. Okay, here's an example.
The slavery's comment. What did he say? And y'all see him with Trump.
And it's honest, and it is the support of Trump. Like that is a huge thing. And
this is my example
to realistically think that Kanye is going to be the president. He's not going to be the president. You're literally just wasting your vote if you vote for Kanye West.
Kanye is the sacrificial lamb.
It's always late in the game.
Black people.
No, he's the sacrificial lamb for Trump. Because right now we just talked about last week how Trump was feeling discouraged about like the next upcoming race.
Because of the COVID, that's what he worried about.
No, we talked about that, especially with the Black Lives Matter movement. So if he moves those votes from Biden and moves them on over to Kanye, if he really is serious about the whole presidential race, those are votes that aren't going to go to Biden. Trump has his supporters. He's worried about the black votes. He's worried about the black votes.
Trump is
a celebrity.
Yes.
He's a celebrity.
Hell no.
So at the end of the no, what I'm saying is at the end of the day, I don't care about these. I seen the little stuff last week about Trump approval rating go down. Sound like the same shit 4 years ago. This approval rating was shit the whole time. And the night of election,
because when you get behind that blue curtain,
white folks be like this. They be like,
yes, exactly. But this is what I feel about Kanye.
There's a huge difference between him going into election 2016 and now, because then there wasn't COVID. He didn't serve 4 years. Like there wasn't much that people had to say as far as like he's a terrible president. We knew he was going to be a terrible president, but there's nothing that he did to prove. You know what I'm saying? Like his actions now, the way, especially just within these past few months with COVID, with the whole Black Lives Matter thing, like all of that it's not being handled properly. He doesn't.
It's not being handled properly. So how can you say he's worried about the black vote?
What is Kanye gonna do, or what has Kanye done?
This is what I think. Okay, two things. I want to say this. Okay, so Kanye started out a little bit, pro-black and preachy and all that kind of stuff. He always talked about God, yada yada yada, and then everybody gets. Everybody gets But then everybody gets so shocked and surprised when he makes a gospel album, but this is the same man that talks about Jesus Walk. So it's kind of like, just because someone changes doesn't mean that they don't still have some of their core values and beliefs and things like that. Now, second thing I want to say is Trump can very well lose as long as Biden puts the right VP in place. Because right now I'm on some, don't get me wrong, just take this very lightly, but hey, if Trump give me some more money, I'm looking like, who is my vote really going to? You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking, straight negative. And that's how people out here looking at it. You know what I'm saying? So if he provides anything else for these, so-called class of people out here, money-wise, he's going to lose the vote. I mean, Biden will lose the vote, and there will be more Black people that have voted for Trump this election than there had, was 4 years ago. So Biden at this point has to come up with a VP that is just sealing the fucking deal. One, because he's so damn old, and this nigga cannot even be around, to complete the term, so you got to have a vice president in place that is willing to take over and that is going to, pursue these policies and things like that for Black lives. So, it has to be somebody Black, clearly. And I think, they're going with a Black woman. And I just think if he does that,
that's her name?
Yeah, or whoever.
That was one of them.
If he does that, then, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Okay. And Trump stands to lose.
I'm going to
say,
if
they throw in somebody stupid and
it's
Trump
all about the electoral
money.
The Democrats have wet the bed 2 elections in a row, and this, even though they may win this, they haven't put forth a candidate to
exactly. That's why that VP got to be solid.
Right. Because there's nothing about Biden that no one can really tell me like what they finna do. It's just, I'm not fucking with Trump. I'm not fucking with Trump.
Exactly.
I don't think anybody is, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Trust me, I get it. I totally get it. But when it comes down to when you're talking about trying to convince the mass majority who don't vote, and you know what I'm saying, you're trying to say, well, hey man, it's gonna be a lot of people who regularly in the past who they didn't care who was there, they just wasn't gonna vote. Them the people that you want to try to grab in, and if, like you say, if they getting money, you ain't gonna be able to grab them in from. You want to give them something because they don't vote.
Especially these older Black people, it's not okay. So the money. So if you give the younger Black people money, then bam, they have more reason to vote for Trump. Now these older Black people, all they look at is like,
just actually take the money and run.
No, I'm saying the older Black people are looking at it like, this is Barack's vice president, and I don't give a damn what he says. I'm just voting for him. So it's like, it just.
I get it.
Biden is bringing nothing to the table but being affiliated with Barack Obama. That's it.
That's what they did. They got Hillary, got passed over years and years, and then they finally gave her a shot. But then, the first time they put her up against a Black man, a real Black dude that had some sense and had the whole flow to him or whatever, she ain't stand a fucking chance. To even get it, she didn't stand a chance. So she didn't even get to run. Then the second time, she was very arrogant. She was arrogant throughout the campaign. And then secondly, her whole thing was she was trying to attack Trump, and Trump had better lines. His shit was funnier. You know what I'm saying?
She won the popular vote.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta realize that it's a game. Like, you have to make sure that you understand the differences between the electoral colleges, and
we gotta get rid of that shit.
And then I think that the biggest problem is people got to go vote. That is your problem. Like, not that many people voted. You can sit and ask people, like, did you vote in the last election? And they'll tell you no. And that's Republican and Democrat. They just didn't go vote. So it's important that you have to go vote, and then realizing that, yes, the presidential election is important, but you also are voting for your locals. and you need to be, pay attention to that.
I knew that the powers at be or whoever the hell was not about to let Hillary in office. Everybody was so shocked and crying and acting like, la-di-da and just losing their goddamn minds. And I knew, I said it the whole time. And don't get me wrong, I voted for Hillary. But I said it the entire time. Trump is going to win. Hillary is not going, there is not enough manpower stopping this. Like, no, these white men is not about to let this old pasty white bitch up in here. Stop it.
Especially right after a black president.
Right after a black man, you best to speak that.
And then, because the Republicans had been out of pocket for 8 years as far as having the head.
Check, yes, technically.
You know what I'm saying? And then so wait a minute. After the black dude, like you say, y'all gonna give me Clinton chick?
Yeah,
another
Clinton.
Another Clinton.
What you think this is? You think these good old boys about to let that shit transpire?
I don't think it was. I don't think it was that. I don't think it was that. I think it was gender.
There was some people in the back talking about, man.
It was gender. No, it was definitely gender and her last name.
That's what they said.
It was definitely gender and her last name. Like,
right.
Because then at that point they would have been real equivalent to the Bush. Right, because they had 2 presidents, then them Clintons would have been right up under them.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Now, if it would have been a Clinton man, then maybe we would be having a different conversation. But considering that she was a woman, and
Chelsea ruined her chance a long time ago.
Something wrong with her.
I don't even know, but I'm sorry, I can't stand to look at Chelsea for more than 5 minutes. So that's what turned me. The president has to be charismatic.
Nevertheless, if Kanye comes out with a black agenda, it's going down in a major way. If he can give out a black agenda for Black America, come on.
You better not waste your vote. You better
not. And that's the problem. Like, a lot of this stuff that's going on nowadays is people are just doing it to just be doing it and not just read. Make your own decision. You don't have to follow in everybody else's steps.
Right.
But make sure you understand everything that's going on.
And that's part of the problem with a lot of these older black people anyways.
Like, a lot of the other things that's going on is you'll do it and then you come go out there and vote. I'm so sorry.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna tell you, when it comes to voting for me, I love voting for a reason. I don't know why. It's froze up.
Oh, you love voting?
I love voting. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it is. Since I've got a chance to do it, when I got old enough to do it, I make an effort to go vote.
Because
it's your right.
You're accepting your right. Yes, it's your fucking right. I am entitled to do this shit.
I was one of those people who was around people and was kind of under the influence of like, hey man, your vote don't matter, and yada yada yada. And then I started meeting people in politics and getting into it at the early age and stuff. But when it comes to the presidential, because I vote locally as well, but when it comes to the presidential, that vote feels different because it feels impersonal, and then you feel like I've maybe only since Obama. Well, that's the only time I voted Obama, and then here, I just don't. The last time when I went to vote for Hillary, I didn't even feel good about the vote. I felt like I had to do it. So that's the thing that discourages people when it comes to voting. Is like, am I just doing it just to do it? And I felt like I had to do it as I had. Of course, y'all know the reasons on why we was going out to vote in the last election. So that's why I had to do it. But I didn't feel great when I left the voting booth, and that's a problem for people, definitely for Black people, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You don't feel good about your vote?
Well, that's back to Lala. What Lala said: stop following and doing shit that everybody else is doing. Actually, find out who these people are, what they stand for. Are they representing agendas that you stand by?
You.
That pertain to you.
It's not about the whole country.
Yeah, it's not about everybody else.
Or your community too.
Right.
I get that, but that's what I'm saying. When you're talking about your community, and then like I say, the presidential election, it just feels so broad because it's the whole country.
Right.
So
that's
hard,
why the local voting is more important
than
this presidential shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, voting
like you
locally
also need to
is where it
understand
actually matters.
You're voting locally, and then you also realize your governor.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Make sure you're voting for the right governor.
Right, because I didn't vote for this crippled.
I was going to say something bad. I was going to say something.
I didn't vote for the crippled. Let's be clear.
I didn't say I wasn't going to say it like that.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Homie, you said this topic was going to be light.
I know.
And that's why I told you.
I thought it was going to be light.
You don't listen.
He said this was not light. We all knew that
it was going to be light.
This is crazy. No,
you
thought the hell is this going to be light?
No, that's not light. That's not a light topic.
I feel like I can talk about, Governor Abbott a certain kind of way because I am someone who I feel was affected by, just them opening up the city the way that they did and how everybody just reacted. Because in actuality, that weekend that I'm claiming that this happened to me, this is when there were so many from just being in the group chats that I was in. It was like this person's mama, this person came down. Literally that weekend was like on fire or some shit. And it's like, and shout out to, I hope this is the right name. Is it Hidalgo? The judge?
That's her name.
Oh, yeah, Judge
Yeah,
Hidalgo.
so, it's just shout out to her because she got drugged through the fucking mud for all the steps she tried to put into place. And, these white Republicans, just want to open the economy or open bars and bullshit for no reason.
And see what happens.
You see what happens.
Bullshit.
It's not going to be a big deal until it affects one of them, until somebody really, really higher up actually comes down with this shit and is not able to fight. So,
All right, y'all. Let's move on. Shout out to everybody that's watching the show. DB, what up? Why? Brandon, DJ the DJ. Hey, shout out to everybody. Make sure you share the show. Share the show.
Yeah, share our shit.
Give us a thumbs up.
My friend Quincy's on. Hey, Quincy.
Shout out to everybody.
My auntie just jumped in.
Say my auntie just jumped in.
She did. I see her. And
Stace,
my friend Quincy.
Where you think we should go next?
I got two things. We could talk about one of my things was Britney Spears dancing.
What?
And the other thing was you don't want to see it, but the other thing was that hair law that they just had passed about it's about like
the weave law.
Shut up! Ain't no damn weave law.
Oh.
Yeah, no. The jobs are no longer allowed to discriminate against cornrows or any type of natural hairstyles that you have. And the only reason why I was saying this because I had an experience maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, somewhere around there, maybe 8 years ago, something like that, where I was working at Houston's right there on Fountain View. Mm-hmm. And I had made a post about this, and I said this man's name, so I'm going to say it again because I don't give a damn. His name is Gio LaGrassi. He was a racist Italian fuck. And I used to wear my hair with these braids on the side, and then I would have like my curliness coming out or whatever. And so, or sometimes I would just wear it in like a big little curly afro thing, and then sometimes I would braid it up on the side. But anyway, so the day I braided up on the side, he told me that I couldn't wear my hair like that. And at the time, that's why I said this had to at least be about 8 years ago. I needed my job. You know that it's wrong, but you don't know that you really can go hard and enforce this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So I just wish at the time that I would have just been, just more aware to let this white man have it. And
so hold on, you knew that it was wrong before you did the hairstyle? Or are you talking about him?
No, I knew that it was wrong, him telling me that I couldn't wear my hair a certain way.
Okay.
Like, I knew that somebody can't tell you that, but you don't know how to really approach the situation because you need your job and, it's just like, what do you do, basically? You feel helpless. but this is the same Houston's, you know, that not the same one, but the same company that, you know, T.I. and them had a problem with. And then now that location, you know, they're closed down. You know, Fountain View. So, you know, but basically a law was passed in this day and age saying that, oh, you can't be discriminated against for wearing your natural hair that we're born with.
And this law was pretty much catered towards Black women, right?
Well, I think it stemmed from that boy who they made cut his locks, and they told him he couldn't walk. Because remember that was like a big deal.
I want retribution for my locks, for all the years that I had I was discriminated against for my hair.
Hello. So
I got like 7 years worth of retribution I need to go and collect.
Now here's a question for you ladies, for everybody on the panel. I don't know, it'll kind of be, I'll just put it out there, see what happens. Now, if they just passed this law, so if a white woman come through your job, your white coworker come through with cornrows, what would the reaction be?
I've never.
Or would there even be a reaction?
I personally, I've never had an experience where it's, you know, I've been frowned upon for my hair ever. So I don't care how anybody wears their hair.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, if a white person come up looking like, you know, with the cornrows or whatever, that's how she chooses to wear her hair. But I'm sure that, you know, what's she gonna be looking like, that chick from Hustle and Flow, the little dirty white girl. But I mean, I seriously doubt that somebody would have probably said something to this white girl. But who knows? That's a hypothetical situation. You know, but I mean, however you want to wear your hair, you should be able to wear it.
Okay.
I ran across this. It was a lady who worked in the hospital. I was getting on the train. This when I had my hair, and I had seen her. I seen her little white locks, and I had never seen white locks before. White locks. And that's what I call them.
White Iverson.
White Iverson.
They look so unfinished. They was like loose looking. I don't know. They was like traditional.
They be looking dirty. When they got white locks, they should be looking real out here.
It don't look like, it look like yarn.
Exactly.
It like faux locks unraveled.
There you go. And that shit though, it's not neat. It's not neat.
But I done seen some of them look cool with it.
Yeah.
I done seen some of them rocking it, I guess, you know.
Hey, to each his own. How about that?
You can nap it up, do it, bro.
Hey, here's one more before we get into the other thing.
What's the other thing?
I wanted Lala to speak on the Black national anthem.
No, Lala will not be speaking on that bullshit.
The Black national anthem.
What about
it? First week.
because like I feel that even if I were to be, if I sit there and give my opinion about it, other people are not gonna see it the way I see it, and. Because if you don't watch sports, it doesn't fucking matter. If you don't watch the NFL, it does not fucking matter. Who gives a shit?
Just give us your opinion.
You can just give us your opinion. I would love to hear your opinion.
Right. So people out there that's watching the show now, the first week of NFL, they will be playing the Black national anthem. Lift every
don't pander to my fucking.
I feel like how about like
that has never happened before.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have an all-white choir watch.
I say this: if we wanna fix something or whatever, you know, why does the national anthem have to start the game out? Like, why does that have to be? Why can't it just be a performance of something? Or who cares how we start the fucking game? The important thing here is the game. But do I feel like they should be singing the national Negro anthem? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it depends on who's singing it, and that shit'll slap. Like Jennifer Hudson finna get out here and do it.
What if they had what if they only have black people sing our anthem? Y'all let y'all people sing y'all anthem, and we see who should sell out first.
Well, you know what's gonna happen. You already know that.
Now you know that it's not. So, Lala, how do you feel about it?
Go ahead.
They gonna have Elton John. They gonna be pulling out the trying to get.
Lala, I want your opinion. How do you feel?
So
you want my opinion?
I want your opinion about the Negro anthem.
I was just trying to wait for a right time that everybody was, you know.
Don't make it.
Huh?
Don't make it heavy. Don't get on niggas' ass, man.
No, I'm not. That's why I'm saying, like, if you want, this is not a light subject. So this is like, it depends on how people play it. Are people going to say like, oh, it's cool, I don't mind it, or are you going to take it to another, like, it's everything that's going on with these changes is heavy.
Right.
So you have to figure out what it is you want.
Right. My opinion is I want it. If you put it in there, go ahead and implement it for the rest of forever.
Why I wasn't gonna say that.
Implement it forever. Implement the shit forever.
Are they just implementing it for the first game? It's just one game?
No,
the whole game.
No, it's not.
I think like a week's worth. I think.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Just one?
No, they're going to they're trying to do this the NFL is trying to do everything to try to make things right. They are going to do they think this anthem is going to help. They are going to make sure that they speak on different social injustice. They're trying to figure out how to put that on jerseys, kind of similar to the NBA. So you have to kind of like remove yourself and like okay, or let me allow them to if this is going to change, if they're trying to change, let me allow them to try and let's just see how it goes. You never know.
Now we believe Cap. Now we understand what Cap is doing. So that's what they're trying to say.
Pretty much.
First of all, I'm not. Are you gonna believe them? Not. You could say that's the same thing. Bringing back other people, like it's. Do you now? That's the same question as do you believe that there was slavery or not slavery? Same little ball game.
Yeah.
I
there was definitely slavery.
I know there was slavery, but I'm saying, you got people saying, oh, it wasn't. Come on now. Since Hump B want to vote for the fool, like
with that situation, for me, I just feel like he just my only problem with how he did it was only from a football standpoint, because he just kind of screwed himself out the money. I would have made them pay me. Y'all would have to be a watch football to understand.
But do you understand that he sued the NFL?
No, I get.
He got paid, and then he got mad that they won't. Like, it's kind of like I understand his frustration, but actually think about it on another level. Think about if you owned a company and somebody you let go, you said okay, and then they come back and sue you, and then you want me to come back? No, hell no, you can't come back.
No.
And then it was
I get his perspective.
With the tryouts too. The foolery.
No, I'm talking about my thing was so Cap had a contract. The thing about it is everyone's like no one signed him in free agency, of course, but Cap had a contract going into the summer. He had the option of signing it. They would have cut him and he would have only got so much of it, but he still would have ended up a free agent because they was going to cut him. That was a guarantee. Right. But he just ended up opting out and getting nothing and then just passed through. Of course, he ended up getting paid. That was my only thing. I would say, man, you're going to pay me. you're going to make me leave. I'm not finna just leave money on the table. That was my only thing.
But do you realize when it comes to the NFL and when it comes to these athletes and their contracts, it happens. Money gets left on the table all the time. They have these different options or something happens.
Listen to what I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm saying it doesn't matter. Like the 49ers wanted to get rid of anything that had to do with that coach.
I just said that. I said, for me, I know that y'all gonna cut me. And most NFL players do. That's why it was a surprise. Some people thought that Cap was gone. There was some people that was gonna fuck with him because of the fact that he actually opted out and was like, no, I'm just gonna start free agency as like I'm a regular free agent. Whoop whoop. Because usually it'll be like the day before. They know that they gotta cut you, or they have to pay the whole thing, or you're gonna be guaranteed on the roster. I would say, hey man, yeah, you're gonna give me what, 4, 5 million, whatever it's gonna be. You're gonna cut me, and I'm gonna get that, and then I'll handle my business after that. That was my only thing. But after, I supported him with the kneeling and everything like that. As far as the tryout, I personally don't think that he wanted to play at the time.
Right.
I don't think he wants to play now.
You don't
think that the tryout thing was like one more shebang bang that he can do to them publicly. Maybe that's what he was looking to do.
I don't think it was testing that he can't play. It's the matter if you want to play at this point.
Yeah,
there's a big difference.
So what about now? That was months ago. What about now? Does he
doesn't want to play.
He does not want to fucking play.
He doesn't want to play because at the end of the day,
all these people can fight for you as hard as they can, but if your ass don't want to play, then you ain't gonna fucking play, and it's that simple. Right. It's that simple. It's like literally, it's to the point now. It's like you got to see. We're fighting hard for him, but does he really want it? Like, does he want it?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
I don't think that necessarily.
I was just gonna say at this point, it's more like I think he's getting the satisfaction, and I don't want to say satisfaction because George Floyd's death is not anything to be satisfied off of, but it's definitely like a slap in the face to say, hey, this is all the fuck I was trying to say. Right. I was trying to have a peaceful protest. I clearly had did my research on what would be the most peaceful thing that for me to do in the game. Right. And racist ass white people took this shit to a whole nother fucking level. Right. Nothing it had to do with anything. Right. And all this displays is like, hey, now look at what the NFL is doing. They gonna sing the Negro National Anthem at the beginning of the damn games now, which I feel, listen, that's cool, but I kind of feel like just stop. I mean, if you're gonna do it, then make it permanent. If you're gonna change it, and there has to be some patriotism of some kind before these games start, then fine. Change it to the Negro National Anthem. But then doing so, you still have all these, racist good old boys that are involved in football and fans of football that, are gonna have a problem with that also.
The owners and all this bullshit.
Just take out the patriotism of the country in general, because this is about sports and it ain't got shit to do. It might have started out as some patriotism bullshit, but it ain't got shit to do with that now, because 80% of sports is ran by black people. So let's stop it with all of that. Just take the whole shit out. Let somebody sing at the beginning, they new single or whatever the hell you want to do, and keep it moving. Like, it doesn't have to be.
And you know what? If you don't have, it's like when people say, "Hey, man, if you wasn't doing this, this wouldn't happen." And if there was no damn anthem before the game, he ain't kneeling before no game. He gonna use other platforms to use, because the like you say, it doesn't. If I watch a football game or a basketball game, and I don't hear the anthem, or they just don't play the anthem, I ain't gonna be like, hey man, they ain't do the anthem, dog. They ain't play the anthem. If I'm watching the game and then they do the anthem, and then all of a sudden them niggas walk on the court and just start shooting, I say, what the fuck, where the tip off? Them niggas ain't do the damn, ain't nobody, what the hell? I don't need that. And you talking about
you got Whitney Houston singing the anthem, or Jennifer Hudson.
Honestly, I can tell
these people singing the anthem.
Whitney
might get some views. Well, no, Whitney Houston won't be there.
It was great.
She did that iconic performance.
She did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Yeah, she did that.
Say this shit after the
game. Everybody go shake hands at the end of the game, like you want them to do sportsmanlike shit. Have that shit playing as they walking over to each other, walking out the stadium, have some patriotism on their mind as they leaving out the damn stadium. Play that shit on the way out.
Hey, everybody that's watching the show, put in there what you guys think. Do we need an anthem or you just exit out? Go ahead and post it on our page.
That's a good question.
Live right now.
Because it don't apply to everybody. Y'all omitted a line of it to try to be slick. Just like y'all took the words out the ice cream song and just say, hey man, take the words out and just play the jingle. Niggas love jingles. Okay?
You're right. You all right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie.
Look, niggas do love jingles.
Don't got no jingle.
I ain't gonna lie. I was so mad at myself about 4 or 5 times the other day. I found myself singing, nigga want a watermelon.
Oh, like, no you didn't, bro. No you don't.
What is that?
That's the origin of the ice cream song.
Nigga love the watermelon.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And what's so funny, y'all say niggas love jingles because John Legend has a new jingle for the for this water, this antioxidant water, and that shit came on the other day, and I was like, John Legend, that shit slapping.
I'm gonna get someone else.
I want an antioxidant. Like he made me want the drink. And then it was like 2 versions of it. Yeah, he had it on lock. I say, oh, they didn't got this together.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Here we go, guys. Before we end the show, we got to end it on this note. The interview. The interview that everybody seemed to, I hope everybody watched. Did you guys watch it?
Oh, yeah, the Lord Jesus.
We're speaking of August Alsina
and
Angela Yee.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie. I started it right before we got on. And I watched it up until the point that they were talking about Jada. And I'm actually sad that I didn't watch the whole thing before we got started because I really enjoyed what I did see. It looks like, and I wish that everybody else would watch it too, right? Because it's not like he just came out and was like, hey, I'm fucking Jada. Or it didn't happen that way. He was literally asked specifically about her, about that relationship and what that was about. But even prior to that, like you can tell that he's had, and I didn't really too much like know him. You know, I didn't follow him on Instagram. I listened to the songs that's maybe popular, but I never just said, hey, let's put on that August. Like I never did.
Right.
That.
No one has.
Listening to from the beginning up until the Jada part, it sounded like he is coming into himself as far as like his mental space, his mental health, and like just kind of really being in tune with all of that. And so especially like when you're in like beginning stages of that, like, and him talking about like being vulnerable and how that vulnerability was difficult for him. So just coming from that aspect of it, like I really appreciated the interview, and I'm definitely going to finish it once we get off of here. But one thing that he did say that stuck out to me was like, you know, his character was in question. He was losing money. And so it's like, it may not have been a case where the fans or the, you know, outsiders was like, oh, they having sex, he this, he's that. But it honestly sounded like maybe inside of, you know, the industry, you know, he was looked a certain way and he felt like he had to speak for himself. And so like,
he said that
this whole time I watched a lot of like the clips and I was just really confused. Like, why did he just up and say this? But then once I watched the interview in its entirety, like I actually appreciate his answer, because he could have still bashed her or he could have said whatever he wanted to say, but he said all positive things about her and them. He did come out and say, you know, what it was, but like I definitely appreciated everything that he had to say up until, you know, till I, you know.
He did it in the if you guys listen to the Nunya song, he did it. He kind of like not bashed, but like he shot some shots at, you know.
What did he say in the song? Because I never heard anything.
I heard the song.
And then let me be clear about this too. I have heard about the Jada and Will rumors, but I never knew August Alsina was a part of that. So my thing is now is I want to know about the niggas and the bitches that Will been fucking. Because please, he gets down with the
after
other
the
side.
fact. That's what you want to.
Yes, I want to know, is him and Dwayne Martin still fuck buddies?
So wait a minute, I was thinking about this the other day. You know what?
Yes, Dwayne Martin, Tisha Campbell.
When this August Alsina shit came out, what if?
Ben, what are you saying?
When this August Alsina shit came out, they used to always say that Will had his little tendencies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
but it was never no concrete. It was like, oh, I heard about Dwayne Martin. That's like the only where I heard some other little rumors, but that's like the one that people used to throw out the Dwayne Martin. And I just started thinking about with the August Alsina, and then he talking about he got permission and everything like that. What if, and this is really sad, we need to pray for Will if this is possible. I think this is the case. What if Will is having to befriend all her boyfriends? I've seen pictures of him and August and Alsina a couple times, whoop whoop. They got this whole little situation. So what if everybody thinking like, oh yeah, we'll just, because she seemed very dominant. She's a little woman. My mom's a little woman, and she's very fiery. And not all little women are fiery, but my mama got the same type of fire that Jada kind of has. And she's always. I've never seen her play down to her.
How long
her
ago
character.
Technically was this all happen? How long ago?
What? August Alsina?
2015, I think.
Okay. You have to think about if this is rumored to be true, Will was not in a normal state of mind. He lost his dad.
Right. Okay.
So he lost his power figure. So if you think about if somebody is losing someone or they're going through whatever they're going through individually, they can't be there for that one person, but other people, if they've never experienced that, they can't be there to support you. They don't know. They don't know what to do, what's right, what's wrong. If they may think let me give you your space. Right. I'm saying, like, what if she didn't understand how to comfort him in that time?
So she want to get digged down by somebody else.
I mean, it happens. I mean, everybody.
That's a hell of a theory.
Everybody
He might have been
grieves.
taken advantage of at that time.
I mean, but a lot of people grieve differently. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So,
and it's easy to take advantage of someone when they're grieving as well. So,
and Will grew up with his father figure. Okay, I mean his father, his parents. Jada didn't grow up in that same type of household.
Right.
If you watch the Red Table Talk where she did the Father's Day special about Will, you can see it. So like, I guess I can see that maybe he was.
So you saying Will pushed Jada away and then Jada
I don't think he pushed her away. I'm just it's a simple thing is not saying that I'd push you away, but saying like, hey, like if I say, hey, I need you to be here for me, and you like, nah, I don't understand what that's going through, so I'm gonna move around.
Wow.
I don't think that. I think that they.
I'm not saying that's necessarily what happened to them, but if you're talking about someone's mental state, Will could have been going through something in a mental state as well. I mean, think about it. Her best friend was Tupac. And I imagine how long that she grew up with that. And then they were together.
Listen, Jada is bisexual, Will is bisexual, and their kids is bisexual. That's just how the hell they roll. Okay? Plain and simple.
But to answer, but we have a question in the chat. They asked about Israel, and you asked what happened to her. That's the girl with R. Kelly.
No, I know who that is, but
I don't know who that.
No, she's supposed to be coming out with something. I didn't. Now that
I mean, she's just gonna tell her side. I guess
on
explaining.
Netflix?
So
gonna be on Netflix?
I don't know. I'm just going off of what it's saying.
Probably gonna be on Tubi.
And in the little part,
all of that, if that happens.
And even in the little part that I did watch with August when he was talking about like him being molested and like him kind of going through all of that, like it all just kind of just makes sense. Like just the way that he was talking about things and his relationship with her and like just trying to be
right
like open about those things and telling his truth. So I appreciate it.
Can I say one thing about August? I understand all men have their feelings and going through different things like that. I think he's gonna get a pass from a lot of women just because of he's August Alsina. Because he was out of pocket at the end of the day.
You think so?
Let's talk about
a lot of women say that. A lot of women say that.
I think he was out of pocket in the sense of because if the situation, like someone mentioned that he was going through some things. I think R said in the background, which I can understand that because it's bad to get labeled as Will Smith and Jada Pinkett's little boy. I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can understand how it could look bad or whatever.
The internet can lighten his ass up with the memes.
Right.
Yeah.
So imagine in circles when you're trying to get money and somebody turn around and making situations uncomfortable for you. I get that. There's still a hand that you played, and also when you get on, it's almost like saying, "Hey man, with all due respect or whatever." He was raving the love and everything like that. You telling your side of the story. I would have passed on the question.
I wouldn't have answered it at all.
It was very specific.
I wouldn't have put out.
I would have not answered that question.
It's no need because you know what follows after that. The album's coming out, and you already put out the song. You already had a song. You already had the song that came out when you put out the little video and you put her middle name on there, and then you. Doing light, I'm sorry, but doing
came out like a year ago.
Light skin shit, yeah.
Doing light skin shit. Why you texting me and then put her middle name on it and then putting the little emojis and I'm like, bro, you been screenshotting. You screenshotting, bro.
It was heartbroken.
But he said, do you think that it's a power move on both ends? Because he said he had kind of already let them know ahead of time that this was going to be happening in interview one. And two, she's going to have another table talk coming out.
She was headed to the table. She said headed to the table.
It's going to be money.
It's possible that, both sides are like, oh, okay, well, people think might as well make some money off of it.
For me, I think it's horrible that if Willow or Jaden decides to do anything to where they have to be doing press, someone's going to ask them about who their mom is fucking. That's the part about that I'm just like, as some
they got enough money to deal with that. I ain't worried about them kids.
Well, I know they're still children, and who the hell wants to talk about who their mom is sleeping with? And
I'm not gonna say I would be. It's just about those two. Realize Will has 3 kids.
Yeah, exactly.
And that
only 2 that
are the little boy from Jada.
2 that are from Jada.
They know that what's going on. They have to. You seen all the pictures with with Jada and him. It looks. I don't get why people questioning it to them when they know what's up. They're at this point they're grown, right?
It's not about questioning. It's about understanding what the relationship is.
Hey. Why is it any of our goddamn business?
Because August put it out there.
None of it is. Ain't nothing.
You know why? You know why it's on my business? Some people is living like this out here. Yeah, just like this.
You're so bug-eyed when you say.
I know, but I'm just saying we got bigger fish to worry about who Will and Jada is sleeping with. It ain't us, so. You think about it like that.
And I just want to say that
you know they sleeping with.
You're right.
I want to say that I was listening to a podcast. I was listening to a podcast.
Let me put that on Twitter. Hold on. What's your Twitter name?
They were really trying to talk about Will.
Still ain't worried about Jada because he fucking. What's your Twitter name?
But that's my point. I was listening to this podcast right before this, and they really was not putting no respect on Will's name. Will is fucking fine as fuck in a movie star. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? They was talking about, how does she go from Tupac?
Because she want me to start the rumor.
What? Tupac was Tupac and Will is Will. And you best put some respect on Will's name. Okay?
And you know what? You know what's also tough about Will? They don't give him enough credit for. You know how hard it is? Because even with Will being this big movie star and everything, you find him attractive. I've heard women, I'm a man. I can say that he ain't no ugly brother, you know what I'm saying? Good looking brother, you know what I'm saying? but he's never been connected to like a woman in the industry outside of Jada. And
he ain't connected
every
to no
time,
women in the industry. Okay?
hold on. Black lives, act like Black Lives Matter, okay?
Listen,
you right.
They do.
All right.
That's
Hold on.
why
Wait a minute now.
Get his dick stuck by another man. It
Listen.
matters.
Whoa.
I ain't never seen that man do that. I ain't never seen that video.
Allegedly.
Sheesh. Hell no.
Did she say allegedly after that?
She said, you're right. After
You
that.
can't say all that shit and say allegedly after that.
God.
Tisha Campbell made a reference on Instagram or Twitter, and she kept saying, "I will get," and then she kept putting "will" in the capital. She was like, "We will get to the bottom of it," and "will," like everything she kept saying had "will" in it, and she made sure.
But she came out and said that ain't. She's not gonna have to subtweet. She can just come out and say it.
Those were slugs. Those were slugs.
I've seen women straight up lie for nothing. They ain't getting no money off of it. They ain't getting $500,000 if they divorced or whatever.
Do that
just
shit
to ruin a dude.
Yeah.
So you really think
I know some regular
niggas in Hollywood? Wait.
I got a question. So
that.
Ben, do you think that only women do it, or do men do it too?
Do what?
Throw them little slugs, because men are really good about throwing slugs.
No, I understand it.
That's what we're talking about. August.
We're not talking about who. I just said August was screenshot. I was just talking about that. That was some bullshit. We're talking specifically about her. I'm talking about I've seen women do that, and they only incentive was to ruin somebody. So when you're talking about somebody with a whole bunch of people in your ear also, it ain't just Tisha Campbell turned around and decided that she gonna tweet. It ain't Tisha Campbell by herself. So as much as we want to say that these celebrities is by themselves and doing what they want, somebody's telling them, hey, you know what? You really want to hurt them? You've seen it.
Put it on social media.
You know what I'm saying? The thing is, just like there was a rumor of Will and Jada swinging, and all Tisha said was done in the dark will eventually come out in the light. And first of all, there has been other allegations on this Dwayne Martin bullshit, because Lisa Ray has made comments about Dwayne Martin and the little Island of Turcos nigga doing whatever they was doing. So this has been in the shadows or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And you just said it. You just said it. You said you have not seen Will with no other. We ain't heard no scandal. We ain't heard not a drop.
No. You know why? Because I seen him married. Somebody just said he was raised by his parents. So he has that structure.
Okay, I'm the one who said it. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's just
so he
different
got married,
dynamics.
got divorced. He don't have no outside kids. He got married, had a kid, got divorced, got with Jada.
We know of the homosexuality that is running through the Hollywood scene, honey. It is tons of them men
I don't know no name.
on each other. Tons of them.
I ain't know no name.
Because Will is black, we're not gonna exclude him.
Listen, Will is my boo.
Okay? I ain't seen no name.
Thank you. Will is
I'm just saying,
after Earth,
I still watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I want to still do that. So unless you got receipts, baby, it's going to
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't, like, I don't know. I guess I'm just in my fucking feelings today, and I'm not with some shit.
In your fucking feelings?
Yeah.
Well, get out your fucking feelings.
No, I can't. So sorry, unfortunately.
No, what are you saying? What are you in your feelings about?
I mean, it's just a rough day. Like, I mean, it's just hard. That's why I've been quiet. I feel like going back and forth.
What are your feelings about pertaining to the Will situation?
I don't know. I just feel like there's bigger fish. There's other problems, and some of this stuff, like, if that's what that man does behind closed doors, then let it be, because there's a lot of people who probably are going through stuff and they're afraid of coming out, or they, what if they are a celebrity and they are that way, but they're scared to come out because they're afraid what's going to happen to them. Is it going to really affect them like their pockets? Is this going to be like a domino effect? Are they going to be, looked down upon, or are they going to be welcomed with open arms? You never know. I mean, I don't know.
We shouldn't. So it sounds like you are not mad at August Alsina at all for coming out and saying what he said.
I just think that a lot of people have a lot of stuff going on, and if it's mentally, I think we got bigger fish to fucking fry about instead of worrying about who's in an open relationship. We got this girl, the Vanessa in the military. Let's talk about our military. Right. Shit, let's be like honest. How certain people are treated just because you sitting here talking about somebody just because they have a little bit of authority, they think that they are in charge. You ain't running shit. Just and like no means no. God damn, there's like that's what I'm talking about. Like some of this stuff, yes, this is like okay, it's fun and dandy, but who knows that maybe I guess Alcina's really going through something mentally.
He really is. If you listen to it, he really is developing. He's developing himself mentally, and that's why I said I appreciate the interview.
So do you feel Jada could have been like a little predator with him, so to speak, because he because he was vulnerable, he was looking for some type of upliftment.
I don't know if it's a predator, but that's extreme, but I do think that like he probably was in a very dark space, you know what I'm saying, and needed some light, and I think she might have been that light in that moment, which I mean I'm not going to say that's necessarily a bad thing, because everybody needs a little bit of light, but it's just the simple fact of like he got this light from her. He was clearly in love with her. He was going through this stuff. He had like his sister, something like that passed away. He's taking care of those children. Like he has a lot of things, going on. And so for all of that to be going on, for her to be his light, and then for him to say, for him to say something to the effect of like, now his character is in question because of, whatever it is that's going on behind the scenes. That's why I'm like, okay, well, he has to tell his truth. He told his truth. I think he's going to help a lot of people with a lot of the stuff that he talked about outside of the Will and Jada thing. I think that mentally he is growing in a good space. He definitely probably was.
Interviews on the Breakfast Club before talking about his mental state. This is not the first interview.
Right.
No, it's not. I mean, and that's the thing that people need to be realizing, like mental health is real. I don't think other people coronavirus is real. Mental health is real. Like people are in quarantine. You don't know what no one's going through. So people just coming out somebody at the side of their neck, you don't know what you're about to get a hold of, just like, kind of chill with some stuff, you don't know because somebody can take something the wrong way and end up, just going to the extreme left. And you probably didn't even mean it. You probably were joking, but they don't take it as that because they're going through whatever they're going through.
Right.
Well, everybody's trying to clown him now, so he's definitely being clowned on social media.
Right.
He is dragged. Crazy. Did you all
I don't
watch
think they would be dragged if they saw the whole interview. Go ahead.
Did you all watch the Jeffrey Epstein documentary on Netflix?
I didn't watch it.
Okay.
No.
I've watched like the first 30 minutes and motherfucker sick like what he did now. So lock all his other friends up.
No,
but now his girlfriend is
first 30 minutes is just the tip of the iceberg. That's like
that shit is deep.
It's bad.
It is.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But just if ain't nobody watched it, I would just say like, maybe we could come back and talk about it next week. Just watch it. But it's called Filthy Rich. It's like 4 episodes. They're an hour long. 4 or 5 episodes, but definitely it's a good watch. But the first 30 minutes of it is honestly, it's barely scraping scraping what was happening with this shit. Like it's so many layers to it that it's crazy. But I just finished watching it today. That's why I was reading.
That'll be my homework assignment for the week. I'll make sure I watch it.
Because now his girlfriend did she get she's getting arrested or?
Yeah, she got arrested. She got arrested. She was in New Hampshire, I want to say is where they got her at. Where they picked her up at. But the point of that was the entitlement of this bitch to still be in the States. For you to feel like you are that untouchable, bitch, why you didn't
go hard like that?
where extradition was not possible. That's where your ass should have been sitting next to Russell Simmons' ass. So, but instead you out here,
Russell Simmons high?
No, Russell Simmons is in like Bali or some shit, and he's in an area you can't get him if any charges are brought against him. So
he's good that quick.
Yeah, he's out of there.
He did.
Damn, Russell, that look funny, bro.
No.
Well, he could just stay on. Or could just stay on the black man
down. No way.
I watched the interview on Breakfast Club.
He could just stay black, bro. I'm done with it. I'm cool with that. If I got the money to go to Bali, I'd go right now.
Exactly. They trying to the Me Too movement come through with a vengeance. I'm finna get out of town too, goddamn.
I've been scrubbing tweets. I've been scrubbing tweets and posts. I be waking up in the morning like.
All right, y'all. I think we're good for tonight.
Yeah.
Done data.
All right, y'all go ahead and put your information out there. Go ahead, Stace. You can start off.
Stay sorry, Stace_Ari on Instagram, and Houston, I'm just saying, podcast on everything else.
Hey.
Lala, it looks like you're muted.
Yeah, Lala's muted.
You're muted.
Lala, you want to put your info out there?
Yeah. It's your girl Lala Speed. Sorry, I'm just not with the shits today. It's your girl Lala _speaks. You can find me there, and you can also find me on Play No Games podcast. I should be dropping another episode soon. I just dropped one Saturday, so.
All right, V.
It is it's your girl Victoria _on Instagram, and then I have the Shit No One Else Says group on Facebook, and that's pretty much it.
Boom, boom. Ben Black Nasty Jackson, what can they find?
Black
yeah. Anywhere with. But now, you can find me, bitch. That was for you, huh? I know you wanted to hear me say so crazy. But now, been a damn fool on all social medias. We got we have the Black Nasty Playtime Experience podcast coming soon. We'll get you some more information on that. My OnlyFans page, Black Nasty One. I'm gonna be doing a thigh rub tonight. 45 minutes of straight oil and thighs, ladies. So if you into if you're into little niggas with thick thighs, holla at me.
That sounds like a little person. Wait, did y'all just get this message? Is this just my account, or is this the podcast account? Because it's telling me somebody tried to log into my shit from New York. So I want to make sure that it's just mine and not the podcast.
What?
It's telling me I gotta change my password.
Y'all done mentioned Trump, Epstein.
I know.
Right, we done dug in. We done dug in. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get off. Goddamn.
We took it too far today.
I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Make sure you guys share the show. It's your main man, Humvee, and this is Humvee's House. All right, y'all.